Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see, most of them scared to witness. Go and close your eyes, that's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences, 23 and 1 out. Praying that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury, I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Going on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the swab in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the swab in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Sani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home and change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. That's why I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that God flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Taha Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. And can the streets need another anthem? I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the swab in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the swab in my whole life. My whole life.
Hey, oh, yeah, hey. Fuck wrong with you, boy? You know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in, yeah. But that was my nigga, yeah. My nigga Rewan with me. But that for my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under commanding general, yeah. That for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Look, hey, straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, like you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like like, who is this? I'm rude with it. Ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talk shit. Y'all know they can't stand us, but we U.P.K, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm reppin'. And my niggas solid, number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For I take your life or let you take mine. That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey.
Live. All right, my sign. Quick, clap it up. One sec here. Once again, Israel, we are the I.S.U.P.K. under Command YAHANNA. Store out 1 West 125th Street, Hall, New York. Teaching blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians that you are the real Jews, that the Bible speaks of. And, we explain week after week why the things that happen to you, what needs to change, what we need to change, right? There's a couple of things we want to look over tonight. Number one, there's no such thing as individualism when it comes to God, right? You're not an individual dealing with God. You don't have a personal relationship with God. That's what I mean. What you do affects others. That's what I mean. What you do affects others. That's why things. If you mad at what's happening in certain places like Chicago, you should stop doing what you're doing in your home. You understand what I mean? So we're gonna go into that. We're also gonna go a little bit into regeneration or what they call reincarnation. We'll go and get into that a little bit also. Just based off questions I'm remembering that people asked me recently that I always like to cover in class. Ask your questions in class. Try to make a habit of that. Don't stop with these private messages with questions, right? Ask it live in class so that everybody could be edified, right? Everybody could be edified. We'll get ready to go into it. Do we have any questions online? We do have the calling lines live now, right? Am I correct, Bukwa? The number should be up on the screen. If you have a question, do me a favor, save the debates, save the what do you call that? Save the the opinions and the feelings. If you're gonna call and the first thing coming out of your mouth is "I feel," don't call. I ain't got no time for it today. I promise. I mean, if you have questions, feel free to call up. We'll gladly answer your questions based on the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? You'll never call and ask a question and hear anybody over here say, "I feel," or "I think." You won't hear that. You know what I mean? All right. Watch any question there?
Lots, sir. No questions just yet.
All right, cool. First we'll go into the regeneration, aka reincarnation. You know, it's an interesting topic because many people wonder what happens when you die. You know, what happens when we die? Where do we go? The majority of the world believes they go to heaven, right? There's a concept that exists that bad people go to hell, but to tell you the truth, I've never heard anybody say anybody's going to hell yet. So I haven't heard anybody going to hell yet. With all the evil that's happening on earth today, heaven is full of everybody, and hell is empty, apparently. I mean, the pimps and prostitutes don't go to hell. The murderers, you know, don't go to hell. And it's the easy solution is because, you know, at the last minute, you're able to give your life to Jesus Christ, right? So we'll go into that a little bit, into what happens. And the simple answer is you don't go anywhere, but right back here, right? We're going to teach you what reincarnation or regeneration is, where you can find in the Bible and what it is altogether, right? So, Bakwat, go ahead.
So there's a question online. It's from Yakwataza. It says, Salaki, sir, can I get a breakdown on Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 11? Baba Bashar.
Yakwataza. All right, no sweat, brother. What school is he from?
He's from Syracuse.
Does he normally call? He normally call up?
He doesn't call up, but he's in the class, sir.
Oh, he's normally in the class.
Yakwataza.
All right, no sweat.
And then there's another question also as well after that.
What's the other question?
From Snipe Williams, it says, "Is the white man the devil?"
Okay, Snipe. All right, let's get Yakwataza's question first.
Okay, Isaiah 28 and 11.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and verse 11. For the stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause.
I got you. Go up a couple verses. Go up 2 verses for me.
Isaiah chapter 28 verse 9. Who shall teach knowledge, and who shall make to understand doctrine?
Go up 2 more.
2 more.
I want to give you the contents of what's happening here, brother. All right, go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 28 verse 7. But they also gave ear through wine and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet has erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. Verse 8. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness.
So what's happening here? First of all, who can tell me what's happening here?
Oh, it's like it just sound like they just being wicked, just being drunk and just.
Israel's being Israel.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Israel's being Israel here, man. Israel. Let me tell you something about Israel, man. Man, the Lord loves you, man. The Lord puts up with all your crap, man, and He corrects you like a father. You understand? Go back to verse 7. We could even go higher. What's the brother's name? Quataza. Yeah, Quataza. You could even go higher to get more feedback because it's telling you what's happening. So when you want to understand the scriptures, you know, you have to go up and read to get the content of what's happening, and then what you read is gonna make a lot of sense to you. All right, but we'll stay in 7. All right, because 7 starts with the leadership. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 7. But they also have erred through wine.
They have erred through wine. Let me tell you something, brothers. It is not unlawful to drink,
Right.
but don't become a drunkard,
Right.
especially if you're a priest. That's what I mean. If you're a priest in here, you can't be a drunkard. It's not gonna work. If that's a demon you gotta battle it.
Right.
If you need counsel, get it, because it's not gonna work. These brothers before you reading in verse 7, they were given away to wine. You understand what I mean? They erred through wine, meaning that they were drunks. Right? I'm gonna tell you something else. A lot of us have to give up horrible addictions in the world. Right? We have to give up horrible addictions. Weed is the most famous one. And you can imagine, I mean, so there's so many pills and stuff. I don't even know. You can imagine all the pills and stuff and cocaine and all that stuff, right? A lot of us have to give that up.
Right.
Don't let alcohol be a crutch now. Don't let alcohol be a crutch where you were just now, you went from being a drug addict to a drunk.
Right.
You know what I mean? And because nobody's going to respect you as a priest. In your own household, your wife won't take anything you're saying seriously.
Right.
Understand? If you have that demon on you, battle it. Right. Seek counsel, seek help. Let the brothers know I'm battling this demon, I need help. Because you cannot do the job of a priest because you're going to be held to a standard. Right? So these priests erred in wine. Go ahead.
Go on.
Still in verse 7.
And through strong drink.
And through what?
Strong drink.
And through strong drink, brother. That is a trap. Don't see certain brothers who could drink two or three shots and they be fine. And you come and you just think you could hang with the big dogs.
Right.
That's what I mean. Just as you see, if a brother has a drink, he's not a drunk.
Right.
When you overdo it, and let me tell you how you know you're a drunk. When your wife has to pick you up off the floor in the morning.
Right.
When you have to be apologizing the next day to brothers that was around you. When you can't even remember the foolishness you did. When you've lost all your respect. When you're vomiting on yourself and pissing yourself on the streets. When you wake up in the morning with bruises all over your forearms, your hand, your head, because you're falling all over the place. Mm-hmm. You're a drunk. Mm-hmm. Stop it. Understand? Go seek counsel, brother. It's not an easy demon to battle, but you got to battle it if you're going to be in here. Keep reading.
Come on. Are out of the way. The priest and the prophet has erred through strong drink.
Mm-hmm.
They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink.
They are out of the way through strong drink. I mean, they can't even do their jobs. I mean, they can't even do their job because they're too drunk. Keep reading.
Come on. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment.
They err in vision. I mean, they can't even see, and they stumble in judgment. Instead, what does it mean to stumble in judgment? You can't even think clear. You can't even make a judgment because you're so drunk. You're such a drunk. Like the poor and the needy and the violated can't even come to you for counsel or for help, for justice. Keep reading.
Verse 8. For all tables are full of vomit.
All tables are full of vomit. Keep reading.
And filthiness.
And what?
Filthiness.
Go ahead.
So that there is no place clean.
That's a drunk. You understand? That's a drunk. And then now your wife has to clean up after you every minute. I mean, and calling the generals and the captains and telling them what happened. And I mean, that's not the way to be, brother. This was the situation of the priests and prophets back then at this time.
Right.
Keep reading.
Verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make understand doctrine?
Go ahead.
Them that are wine with the milk and drawn from the breast. Verse 10. For a precept.
So verse 9 is talking about what? Who's he? Who's the teacher here? Kagar.
Oh, well, it's talking about the drunk man.
No.
Whom shall he teach knowledge?
Read it again.
Verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and who shall he make understanding of doctrine?
Who's he?
The priest, the prophet.
Lord.
Okay, come.
Understand this, Kagar, so you understand it. This is the situation of the priests and the drunk man. They're a bunch of the priests and the prophet. They're a bunch of drunks. They can't do the job. So now, who shall he teach?
Oh, come.
You understand? That's what you got to look at. Who shall he teach? Not them. He just told you they're useless, right? He just explained to you that he can't use them. They stumble in judgment. So now, who shall he teach? Who's the he? The Lord. Right? Who shall he teach? Go ahead.
Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make understanding doctrine?
Now, who's he going to teach? And who's going to make understanding? Now he has to find somebody. This is very important for you to understand. When you have addictions and you have all these demons on you, the Lord's purpose don't stop. So now, who is he going to use now? Who is he going to teach? Who is going to give this understanding that you were supposed to get? Keep going.
Come. Them that are wine from the milk and drawn from the breast.
Then that are what?
Wine from the milk.
Weaned.
Oh, slack.
What does it mean to be weaned from the milk?
It's like to be pulled away.
Yes. They could maybe that's breastfeeding. And to wean them means that they are basically, okay, you're getting big now. You can't be, you can't be fed by breasts anymore. So now you're being weaned, you're being pulled away from it and given more mature options, right? Go ahead.
And drawn from the breast.
Drawn from the breast, same thing, taken away from the breast. Go ahead.
Verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little. What's it giving you here? A formula. Right. You understand? People read. That's why we teach precepts. The scriptures understand the script. The scriptures explain the scriptures. Right. Understand? A lot of people, they read one verse. That's why you hear people say the Bible contradicts itself because they don't understand what it's saying. Right. I mean, and of course, when you read certain things, you're going to look for exactly what makes sense to you and what's comfortable for you and run with it. That's why you got to come to a priest that has been taught to break these scriptures down, right, and give you the formula here. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Go ahead. Verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. Okay. Now we're to the brother's question. Right? Read it again. Verse 11. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. It's such a heavy scripture. Right, I'm gonna tell you what. Well, actually, I'll give you a chance. What is it saying here? Keep an eye on the thing. See if the brother could answer this question for me. What's it saying here in verse 11? Read again, Kagar. Come. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue, he will speak to this people. Good. Let's see. Give him a shot to answer it. All right, I'm gonna Kagar. You want to answer it? Yeah. Earlier we already said that he was the Lord that was going to speak to these people, but since they are, the tables is drunk and they're not understanding what he's teaching. So to them, it's going to sound like stammering lips. No. All right. So this is what's happening here. So the priests and prophets back then, they failed. Right? And this time, and when I say priests and prophets, I'm not talking about the Moseses, I'm talking about the leaders. Right? When you hear Moses, when you hear Isaiah, when you hear Ezekiel, when you hear, these people are the ones who stand out because they did their job. Go ahead, Bukwash.
The brother answered, he said, brothers and sisters need this knowledge who are living in Gentile state of mind.
Read again.
Said brothers and sisters need this knowledge who are living in a Gentile state of mind.
He's close. He's on it. Right. So let me break it down for you for the time's sake. Right. So basically, because they did what they did in the past, what was the outcome? Captivity, slavery. Right. Now you're in a foreign land. You don't speak your language no more. You don't speak Hebrew. What language do you speak today? English. Right? So now read 11 for me again. Come. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue. A what? Another tongue. Another tongue means not your language because you're not where you were when this crime happened. Right? Go ahead. Will he speak to this people? Will he speak to this people? Now take me back up to verse 10. No, verse 9. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9. Who shall he teach knowledge? And who shall he make understanding doctrine? Yeah, Quatazar, this is talking about you, brother. This is talking about the brothers today. This is talking about Kagar. This is talking about. So they did what they did, so the Lord had to find somebody to do the job. Of course, the Lord, you're gonna pay the penalty. And after you pay the penalty, now he has to find the brothers to do the job today. You understand what I mean? That's why it's so heavy. Because when you understand what's happening, where the Lord is saying, you know what? They did their time. Now, who am I going to use? Who am I going to, who am I going to teach this doctrine? Go ahead, God.
Now I was gonna say this like a double fold scripture. This also heavy because this also shows that the Lord is choosing.
Of course. You understand what I mean? Definitely. Right. So with a stammering lips and another tongue, will he speak to his people? Go ahead.
Salaki, verse 9. I'm sorry, Salaki. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make understanding doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast? For precept must be upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no, that was basically it, brother. Salaki. Your questions are, I hope that answers your question, brother. So basically, because we're here, we're not speaking in our native language, so the Lord's going to teach us in the language we speak today. That's why even now, as we're getting this understanding, we're going precept upon precept in the language of English. Is that what I mean? Lesson learned, do what you're supposed to do so you can speak your own language. Then you won't have a stammering tongue. Is that what I mean? Hold on. Let me get
I do got a precept to your topic.
say again?
I got a precept to your topic. In the book of Ecclesiastes.
Which topic?
Where your spirit go when you die. You were speaking on it earlier.
Yeah, we're gonna get that. I think I have one more question. I gotta I don't want to answer the question I don't want to make the statement I was gonna make about the stammering tongue part, the stammering. Because stammering means to what?
Like fumble with your words?
Or stutter. Right? I'd rather double check that because I don't want to give any misinformation. Right? As much as I want to say it. I'm not gonna say it, but that's if I remember correctly, it's heavy. I mean, so what you might want to do, ask General Muhammad to break that part down. Because I remember he broke it down, but I don't remember when I first came into the school, it blew my mind. But I don't remember it verbatim, and I like to break down things I don't remember verbatim. I mean, because I don't want to add anything to it. All right. So, but to answer the brother's question, yeah, because we're here now, we have to learn. He has to teach you to teach the people now. All right. Let me know if he says that answers his question. What was the other question we had?
The question was we had another question after that as well. It was from Snipe Williams, and it says, "Is the white man the devil?" And then there was another question.
Okay, that. Snipe, this is what you're gonna do for me before we answer that question, right? I want you to give me off your mind that you know of, and based on what you've been taught, 5 characteristics of the devil. Right? Do this for me. Write down 5 characteristics of or type in 5 characteristics of the devil. Right? And then we'll take it from there. What's the next question?
Next question was from a Princess Pope. She says, "What is the name of this group and what is your educational background? No judgment, just like to know who I'm listening to."
Okay, we are the I.S.U.P.K. Stood at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. With the I.S.U.P.K. stands for Israelites. I say I.S.U.P.K. stands for, what does the I.S.U.P.K. stand for?
Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge.
Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Right? Again, we still at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Salaki. I went right down the wrong hole. the wrong pipe. I took a sip of wine with that wrong pipe. Right. So we teach blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, or the real Jews. Right. Still at 1 West on the 25th Street under Commander YAHANNA. Again, that's our leader. That's the head prophet in the school. Now, your question was what? What's our educational level? It's a good question. Now, but you'd have to elaborate as to what you mean about that. The reason I say that is because education is not, it doesn't give you It doesn't qualify you to speak on everything. I'll give you an example. A dentist cannot speak on the matters of a lawyer, but the dentist is educated. Right or wrong? Right? A doctor or a physician or whoever, no matter, they can go to years of education. They can't speak on every matter. So even when people say today, I'm educated, what are you educated in? Right. Because you should stick to that field. Understand? Well, we in the I.S.U.P.K, under Command General YAHANNA, we are educated in the Bible.
That's right.
You understand? We understand the Bible like no politician could. We understand the Bible like no Christian could. We understand the Bible like no preacher could. We understand the Bible like your so-called scholars do not understand the Bible on the levels we understand the Bible. Right. You understand what I mean? So we study it, and more than studying it, the Lord teaches. That's why that scripture we just read, precept upon precept, that's the formula the Lord was given to his prophets. Understand? The last thing I will say on that is, you can't even understand something unless the Lord allows you to understand it. This is not something where you could go to school, go do 4 or 5 years in school and then come out educated in the Bible. That's why you have all these people who went to theological school, right? And there's a church in every corner, yet the corners are, the people are destroyed in those neighborhoods.
That's right.
Nobody's learning anything.
Right.
There are preachers in every corner, and the suicide rate's through the roof. The poverty's through the roof. Right. The single parent households are through the roof. Why? Because education does not teach you the Bible unless it's coming from somebody who's qualified to teach you. Understand what I mean? So that's how I'd answer that. Now we could pull precepts, but I'll see that. I'm hoping I'm on the same page with as to what she was asking. What's the next question?
Sir. We'll go back to Snipe Williams. You asked him to name some things about characteristics about the devil.
Mm-hmm.
He says the devil opposer.
Opposer.
The devil is the enemy.
The enemy. Okay, that's two. That's two. Those are not characteristics, though. Opposer is not a characteristic. Wow. An enemy is not because of characteristics. They could be an enemy, but that's not a characteristic. A characteristic is, for example, I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna start you off because I want 5. A liar. Right. That's a characteristic. You're a liar. You understand what I mean? That's a characteristic. So I need 4 more from you, brother. I already started you off. Go ahead.
There's another question from Rocheki. Micah Frederick says, what exactly are you guys preaching?
What exactly are we preaching? Well, like as I said, we teach that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the real Jews. And the things that they go through on this earth is a direct result of Bible prophecy, right? They fit every prophecy the Bible has said about the Jews, or we fit every prophecy. And this kingdom is coming to an end, and our kingdom comes afterwards. That's what we teach, brother.
That's right.
Understand? Go ahead. Any other questions?
Snipe William came back and said, the devil is evil.
Evil? Okay, I'll take that. Right? The reason I'm asking you, brother, because the reason I'm asking you to name these characteristics is because people have characteristics of the devil. Like evil, a liar, right?
White.
So, but what you have to do is you have to stop looking into the third realm for your enemy. You understand? Stop looking into heaven or down into hell for your enemy. You got to find the characteristics that are destroying everybody,
right?
And identify that man. You understand what I mean? Identify him. Actually, give me Isaiah chapter 14.
Okay.
Right? Give me Isaiah 14. You know where it says they will narrowly look upon him.
16.
That's verse 16.
It's Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look up.
Give me up one verse up.
Isaiah 14 and 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell.
Mm-hmm.
to the sides of the pit.
Go ahead.
Verse 16, that they shall that they see thee.
They that see thee
shall narrowly look upon thee.
So those who look narrowly to see this person, they will look at this person. Go ahead.
And consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this the what?
Is this the man?
Is this the what?
Is this the man?
Is this the man? Go ahead.
That made the earth to tremble.
That made the earth tremble. Right? So they're going to identify this man in the last day when he's been brought down. They're going to say, is this him? Is this the man that, like, when he's destroyed? You know, when you're destroyed, you're always weak. That's what I mean? And you hear all these stories about all the bombing he's done on the earth. And all the, you know, there's something called carpet bombing. Who knows what carpet bombing is? Bakash, what's carpet bombing?
That's when you throw so many bombs, when it explodes, it looks like a carpet.
Yeah,
carpet of dust.
Like you're laying carpet.
Constant.
That's how much bombs are dropping on the people. Is this the man that caused the earth to shake? You understand? Now we want to find this man in the spirit realm when he's right here on the earth with us.
Right.
You understand? You'd have to go and ask Trayvon Martin. Now, Trayvon Martin's mother, is he the devil? You understand what I mean? Now, the flip side is a Christian was to show you, I know exactly how you think. A Christian's going to say, but what about the black on black crime? Right. Let me tell you something, brother. Black people have never enslaved anybody. Black people are not doing the mass murders. Black people are trying to survive in America. Mm-hmm. You understand? And because you put them in a situation where they can't even have their fathers in the house, they go astray. That's why we do the job we do here to go and gather the lost sheep of the tribes of Israel. Right. Gather God's chosen people and show them they don't gotta do that. You understand what I mean? When you take away their identity, you take away their God, and you just put them in the ghetto, what do you get? Kaga.
I was going to say the oppressor is so crafty. He does understand the art of war, but our people don't, because they don't realize when another nation attacks another nation, that's an act of war. Yeah. But since we forgot about that and love our enemies, we don't understand that we are in a spiritual act of war because the oppressor is.
Let me tell you something. Let me give you a characteristic of the devil. What's his name?
Snipes Williams.
Snipes. I'm gonna give you another characteristic of the devil. Right? We mentioned deceiver or liar. He's cunning. You understand? He knows how to set a piece of meat in front of two starving dogs, and then say, "Look, those dogs are violent." You understand? Look, those dogs are violent. Let me tell you something. Let your child go missing. You be better off that child missing in the black neighborhood. You'll be lucky if that child's missing. Don't let him be missing no oppressor's neighborhood. Then you're gonna find out who the devil is, man. So to answer your question, yes, the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. Right. That's 100%. Understand? He is the cause for everything. I mean, he is the cause for everything that's happening on this earth. Go ahead, Shapat.
I'm about to say, I hate when they say, what about black on black crime? Because for one, we're not really the cause of our own crime. We're just trying to survive. But how can you forget and not compare that to World War I and World War II? Because
World War I and World War II is small in the mind of a Christian. It's not about the crime. It's not even about the bloodshed. It's self-hate.
Right.
You understand? That's all it is. It has nothing to do with how many people died. You know how many people, let's go to gangs. You want to say the Bloods, the Crips. You know how many people the mafia killed? Right. Yet you put them on your big screens and you idolize them. You idolize them. But some poor brother who is trying to survive, some sister who has been traumatized by living without a father and being molested, you think they are the evilest people on the earth. You think they're the problem on the earth. Yeah. I'm going to tell you this. Give black people money, take them out of poverty, and guess what? Their crimes will stop.
Come on, sir.
I'm going to give you the flip side. White people, with all the money they have, they still do mass shootings.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They still got to travel to Africa to kill a lion. Mm-hmm. Like, they have to shoot a gazelle. They have to go. What's that devil, that oppressor who went on top? He was rich. Years ago, he was in Vegas. He ran the penthouse in the hotel room, locked himself in, pulled out his rifle, and started shooting into the crowd. A millionaire. Black people, you give them money, all you're gonna see is more chains, more whips, more barbecues. I mean, that's all you're gonna see, because we're not the murderers that they're painting us out to be. What we need to stop doing is stop. And this is both brothers and sisters, because I see a spirit coming up where it's been brewing, but it's strong now, where brothers and sisters are falling into propaganda and thinking that we are battling each other. We're taking on other nations' customs and hating each other because we don't match to those customs. I mean, I hate that these terms now. I'm sorry to even bring it up again. High value man, high value woman, you know, and here's how you know that these people hate you. Because the poor, you know what they call them? And I guarantee, I bet you money that those purple people, I mean, use this term when they're talking to poor black men. If you're a purple person and you use this term, it's because you hate black people. I know you use it. Pookies and Ray Rays. If you call black men Pookies and Ray Rays, you hate the poor. And I'm going to tell you this. If you think that Christ is coming for the middle class and the rich, you're dead wrong. He's coming for the poor.
That's right.
I know he's coming for the poor. The people you call niggers, he's coming for them. You understand what I mean? Bukwash, go ahead.
Like, there's another question online, but there ain't been no Pookie since New Jack City. Like you hanging on to the crackhead in New Jack City?
Yeah, because that's what he wants to identify you as. You understand? To try and lower you're already down in society. That's why I love the I.S.U.P.K, man. I.S.U.P.K, that vibe there is like they don't want somebody who thinks it's better than other black people. We don't want that.
Right.
I mean, bring us the poor. We actually do what America claims to do. They say, bring us your poor. Bring us your what's that phrase?
You're muddled, you're weak, something like that.
Yeah, we do it here for black people. We take the poor, the broken, and we make them strong.
Right.
I mean, we make them strong in here. And I see it. That's why I'll always be here. That's the only place to be, because this is the only place in anything you're building, you got to start from the root. You try to start in the middle, you got to start from the root.
Right.
You fix the root, brother. Everything else builds. I mean, you're going to the middle because the middle is where the money's at. That's where you're going straight to the top because you're trying to get to the fruits. If you understand what I mean, you're trying to get to the fruits, but you ain't even build the root yet. We're going to get the fruit. You know what I mean? We're going to produce the fruit, but we're going to build the ground from ground up. And that's the poor, the people you call Pookie and Ray Ray, the sisters you disrespect and say they don't have no value. I mean, you're going to find out that the Lord's coming for them. All right? Kagan, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that's exactly what you're saying, too, because nothing but the great come out of the poor. Like, you get the LeBron James.
Good night.
You got the,
Give me the scripture. Give me the scripture. You know what? They didn't mention that. Give me the scripture. What good could come out of
Christ?
Nazareth? I mean, but Salaka, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to say, but last but not least, Christ.
Yeah.
He came out the hood.
No, but let me tell you something, man. Y'all sleep on the hood. The hood has beautiful people in there, man. Beautiful people. I mean, beautiful people in the ghettos, poor black people who would not, and and most of them, let me tell you something else. Most of them are poor because they won't sell out like you sold out. That's why they're poor. You understand me? They got integrity. Black people have an integrity that most don't understand. Even that's in their ignorance. Even the ideas, don't snitch. It's integrity. Even in their ignorance. I mean, it's integrity they have, or love for their brother that, you know what? If I gotta go do this time, I'm gonna do it by myself. I mean, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm not gonna take a plea and give my brother more time. Go ahead, Bukwash.
Sorry, if I could, before you get to that precept, I know the question online is on the stream that I'm going to have to cut in a few minutes.
Say it one more time.
The question online is on one of the streams that I'm going to have to cut in a few minutes.
Okay.
So when you answer the questions, you're not going to be on here.
Who's not going to be on here? I don't understand.
So at a certain time, I have to cut one of the streams to hand it off to another school.
Okay, no sweat. That's fine. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
Book of John, chapter 1, verse 46. And Nathanael said unto him, can there be anything?
Go up one verse.
Come. Book of John, chapter 1, verse 45. Philip findeth Nathanael and saith unto him, we have found him, of whom Moses in the law.
So Philip goes to Nathanael. It is so poetic, by the way. I'm going to show you why. Right? Philip goes to Nathanael, who is, how do you say that in English? Nathaniel. Right? He goes to Nathaniel. Go ahead.
Come. And saith unto him, we have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Jesus of Nazareth.
So Philip goes to him and says, yo, we found the man we're looking for. We found the man that the prophets spoke about. We found him. Right? He says that to Nathanael. Go ahead.
The son of Joseph.
The who?
Son of Joseph.
The son of Joseph. For those who think that Christ was not the son of Joseph, he is the son of Joseph. Right? That's actually another topic I need. I see if I have time to go through it today. I mean, people think the Immaculate Conception, where Joseph was not the father, he is the father. Right? But I'll see if I have time to go through that. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 46. And Nathanael,
go ahead.
Said unto him.
Nathanael said this. Go ahead.
Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth?
Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? That's what Nathanael said. That's what Nathanael said. Why? Because only cookies and Ray Rays can come out of Nazareth, according to them. You know what I mean? Nah, man. Something great was coming out of that ghetto. Why is he saying that? Because Nazareth was a ghetto. It was an absolute ghetto. You know, that's like, you know what? Let me put it in perspective for you. Give me a rough city. Detroit. Right? That's like today, somebody comes and say, yo, we found Christ. He in Detroit. We found Christ. He in Chicago. We found Christ. He in Compton. You think when you find her, we found Christ. He in the White House. That's what you think is going to happen.
Right.
We found Christ. He's with Joe Biden right now. That's what you think is going to happen. You understand what I mean? So to make the point, the ghetto, man, is a wonderful place. It is hell, but we make any ghetto you found in history with heathens has never produced anything. You understand what I mean? Right. Go to the ghettos in India. They don't produce nothing. You understand what I mean? The only way you'd have to pull somebody out from a child, let them come here and do all that stuff. You understand what I mean? But you have stars coming out of the ghetto. The ghetto produces so much of today's economy in terms of style, in terms of influence. You understand what I mean? Every dance you're doing on TikTok came from the ghetto. You understand? Go ahead, Bakwash.
Sorry, if I could, the biggest stars in our communities all come from the ghetto. Mm-hmm. There's not very many big stars that come from middle class or upper class or anything like that.
I was watching an interview with Shannon Sharp, and Shannon Sharp said the first time, basically, because he's from the South, right? Mm-hmm. The first time he used a bathroom that was indoors was when he got to college. Mm-hmm. Before, he'd have to go out and go in the shed and use the bathroom. Mm-hmm. That's how poor he was. You know what I mean? That's how poor he was. Now, and he made some. He became, famous and rich and so forth. I mean, so yeah, I'm done with that. What's the next question?
Question on from Olivia Arnold. It looks like she wants a breakdown on Ecclesiasticus 41:7.
Okay, Ecclesiasticus. Somebody get it for me.
And also
Shalom.
Hey, Shalom. What's going on, Zawat?
Sehr geehrte Dienste.
Most High Christ.
41:7.
Oh, come. Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 41, verse 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake.
Okay. Is there a specific question on that?
She just wanted a breakdown on that verse.
Okay. So basically, and this is on a large scale, what happens when the children of Israel disobey the Lord. You understand? Because why are we reproached today? Because of what our forefathers did. You understand? Now, somebody read that one verse up for me.
Oh God, sir. Look at Ecclesiasticus chapter 41, verse 6. The inheritance of sinners, children, shall perish, and their prosperity shall have a perpetual reproach.
Now, this is on the more minute stage where you could go into the family, the household, right? If a father's not a leader, that's when you have what? 2 million people in jail. 2 million black people in jail. You know what I mean? So a father's role in the household is to prevent all that. A father's role in the household is to correct the household, or else the house is going to get corrected by the Lord. Now, here's the flip side, sis. And just to make sure, here's the flip side of that, because it's easy to look at that scripture and say, you see, fathers are not doing this, so this is why you have to let them lead also. You understand? You just have to let that man lead, because at the end of the day, read that again. You have to understand what's happening here, because it's not mentioning the mother's failure. The father's the head of the household. Right. Don't be evil in there and restrict him from doing his job, and then his children be destroyed. Because at the end of the day, if you love your children, let them have their father. Because if they have their father, then they don't have to deal with the things that black people have had to deal with in this single household families. It's a fail. It failed. You understand? So read it again from the verse you just read last.
Oh God, sir. Look at Ecclesiasticus chapter 41, verse 6. The inheritance of sinners, children shall perish.
Any inheritance. So your job is to leave your child an inheritance. For a sinner, the inheritance of his children perish. They don't get it. You understand? They don't get it. And it could be from different things. It could be that he spent it all. It could be that he never even thought to save anything for them. He never built nothing. He was just a drunk, like we talked about earlier. Right. Does that mean? Or he was a criminal who went to jail. Therefore, he couldn't build nothing for his family. The inheritance of sinners shall perish. You understand? You know how many black people owned houses back in the days? DC was called Chocolate City. The inheritance of sinners, the children, the inheritance perishes, ceases to exist. Go ahead.
And their prosperity shall have a perpetual reproach.
And their prosperity will have a perpetual reproach. What does the word perpetual mean? Consistent reproach. You understand? Now you are just niggas. Now everything that happens is you. Oh, it's black people. I can't stand being around black people. Black people. Everything that's negative is you now. Because your father then sets you up for success. Everybody has, the desire to leave their children something. The black and Hispanic community, you die, you just leave them kids debt. Debt. Whatever you owed, they paid. You understand? Go ahead, Kagar.
The person so wicked, he could leave a dog $1 million after he died.
Forget it. You understand? Forget it. Which is going to be on the topic. We're going to go to regeneration or reincarnation shortly. All right. Go ahead, Shapat.
Oh, God. Verse 7. The children will complain of an ungodly father.
Now that you've done, they poor and broken and struggling. Now they complain about what? An ungodly father. Ungodly father. They complain about, like, you hear it today. My daddy ain't. and you can finish that term. You know what I mean? I ain't have no father, even though his father's alive. You know what I mean? They complain about an ungodly father. Go ahead.
Come. Because they shall be reproached for his sake.
Because of him. Remember, it all starts with you. Like, that's why you gotta have compassion on these kids today. You understand? Because they didn't create this world they're living in now. They were born into it and they have to survive. You understand? Keep reading.
Come. Verse 8. Woe be unto you, ungodly men.
Woe be unto you. Destruction be unto you, ungodly men. Go ahead.
Which have forsaken the law of the Most High God.
Because now in your mind, you think you're gonna go blacks, Hispanics. This is a trap. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. You think what your children need, right? Is for you to go and get education. You're educated. You're a high value man now. Nah, you need the laws of God.
That's right.
You understand? That's what you need. You need the laws of God, so you could be in that household and you could protect that young virgin in the house. You could protect that young brother. You could protect, your wife. I mean, you could lead them. You could make them stop spending so much goddamn money, wasting money. You could tell them this is not the type of people I want you to be around.
That's right.
That's your job, man. You understand? To uphold the Lord's laws in your household. Because I'll tell you this, with all these educated, for the past, 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, all I've heard about is educated black people. Where you at? Where your children at? Give me an educated person. Somebody who's educated in the side of those. Steve Harvey. His daughter's a whore. As educated as he's supposed to be, I hear he's getting a show where he's a judge now. As educated, his daughter's an absolute whore, and she doesn't even realize it because she and other uneducated girls, women, see her and say, "Well, she's living her best life." You don't know the demons that comes with. You don't know the low self-esteem. Like all these people who live in their best life, how the hell are you living your best life on antidepressants? I was looking at it, it shocked me the other day. Antidepressant sales are through the roof, but they're living their best life because there's no man in the household to keep everybody in line. Go ahead, Shapat.
I'm scratching, but then you say antidepressants. Weed is an antidepressant.
Yeah.
Sells through the roof.
Yeah. That's the original one, I mean, is there more on that?
Come.
Go ahead.
For if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction.
Right. You understand what I mean? So that scripture, to answer this question, that scripture, you can look at it from on a grand scale as to what our forefathers did, and now we're paying the penalty, and you can bring it right into the household today. You understand what I mean? Where what the fathers are doing today,